Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Cindy Novich, and I have my friend Shandelin Anderson on this call, and we're here tonight to share about health and wellness, how to grow an aeroponic tower garden that you can grow indoors or out. And Shandelin's been growing for 30 years or more, so I'm going to let her take it away. Go ahead, Shandelin.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to share my screen with you here. Can you all see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So tonight we're going to talk about my story about the tower garden, how the tower garden works, what and where you can grow your tower garden, different uses for the tower garden, as well as the benefits that you can get from growing in a tower garden, and then the cost. So this is my garden, and it's funny. I had a friend who kept sending me some videos, and she kept telling me, "Oh, you need to take a look at this. You need to take a look at this." And I didn't know what I was looking at, and she was sending me this video of her kids putting this tower garden together, and I was just like, "Oh, that's cute," and I just left it alone. But she kept poking, and finally she called and she says, "You've got to look at this. I think that you would love it." So I took a look at the video, the corporate video, and I was intrigued. And so then I went to YouTube and I was doing a deep dive, looking at everything I could possibly find on this tower garden, and decided, okay, I want to have one of those. Now, when you get a tower garden, you get all your big boxes delivered to your front porch. So it's not like you're sneaking in a box of shoes. And so I decided I was going to order the tower garden, and it shows up the same time my husband is pulling up into the driveway. And he wants to know, "What did you buy?" And I kept saying, "Oh, you just wait, you'll see, you'll see." And so he kept walking by the sunroom when I was putting it together. And then finally he says, "What are you going to do with that?" And I said, "I'm going to put it on the back deck and I'm going to grow plants in it." And he wanted to know, well, what kind of plants? And I said, the same plants that I'm growing out in the garden beds. We had just planted this garden not 2 weeks before this tower garden showed up. So of course he thought I had taken leave of my senses, and then he was looking at me like I had two heads. And I said, no, all summer long, I'm going to compare between the ground garden and the tower garden, and I'm going to see how the plants do. And so I went ahead and I put it up, and it was interesting. I was just like, this is so easy. So I could grow vertically with this growing system. I didn't need a lot of space. All I needed was about a 3-foot circumference. And so I put it on the back deck in the corner. And, my traditional garden, it took a lot. We had to pull trees and have a big machine come in and level the ground, and all of that cost involved there, which, and the space, it was just easy because it just took up such a small amount of space. And I could grow a wide variety of produce on it. And I was told I could grow inside. Now, at that point, I didn't know. I was just out on the back deck. So growing in the tower garden takes up less than a 3-foot circumference. You can grow 30% more, 3 times faster, with 98% less water. And here's a video on how the tower garden works.
Tower Garden's state-of-the-art aeroponic vertical garden system uses both water and air to produce more colorful, better tasting, and incredibly nutritious fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Tower Garden has a 20-gallon reservoir at its base that stores the Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Developed by experts in plant and human nutrition, Tower Tonic Mineral Blend enables superior plant growth and better nutrition from your Tower Garden produce. The process begins once the seedlings have been placed in your tower garden. Here they will be nourished with Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Inside the reservoir is a small, low-wattage submersible pump. The pump pushes the nutrient solution up through the tower to the top. From there, The nutrient solution drips through the central tower using a special device that evenly cascades the solution over the exposed plant roots. On the journey down the tower, the nutrient solution feeds the roots and becomes highly oxygenated as it cascades gently down the reservoir. This process is continuous, providing fresh oxygen, water, and nutrients to the roots of the plants. This patented aeroponic process enables food crops to grow faster than they would in soil, so they can be harvested more often. And it makes Tower Garden a healthier, easier, smarter way to grow your produce.
So this is what my Tower Garden looked like as it started to grow. To say that I was amazed and in awe is an understatement. I think I was going outside every 10 to 15 minutes just looking at it because I was in such shock at how quickly things were growing on it. And at points during that summer, the plants in the Tower Garden were surpassing what was happening in the ground. We had a lot of rain. And so lots of plants like tomatoes and those types of plants, they don't like a lot of water on the top part of the plant. So they were struggling because we had so much rain that summer. I could have got a boat and could have gone to Cindy's house in the boat almost. It just felt like it was so much rain. But as I watched it grow, I thought, this is going to be really cool. I've never done this type of gardening. I'm going to document this process. So I started posting a video each week as to what was happening on my Tower Garden. And as a result, people started reaching out to me, asking me, well, how do I get one of those? Where did you get that? How does it work? And I started selling these Tower Gardens. And about 4 months down the road, after I'd sold several of them, my husband said to me, you started a job and a business, and we didn't even talk about it. And I told him, I said, it wasn't my intention to start a business. I was just so excited about this Tower Garden. I thought everybody should hear about it. And so I left this Tower Garden up on the back deck all the way into the fall. And I wanted to start growing inside, but I didn't want to tear everything down off the outside. So I bought a second one. And the second one came downstairs in my basement, and I started growing on that until I was finally done harvesting. But it was just amazing to me. And then there's my Tower Gardens inside. I now have a total of 5 Tower Gardens. And these are growing downstairs in this room that I'm in. What I like about it is it's clean. I can pick it right off of the Tower Garden. I chop it up and I put it on a plate. I don't even wash it. It's nice. And there are 2 types of Tower Gardens. You've got a Tower Garden Home, and then the Tower Garden Flex. Now, the Tower Garden Home is a smaller unit. It was designed to be in a smaller space. And you notice it's got those nice little sexy rounded corners on it. And that really is one of the nice features about it being inside, because it just tucks away in a small space. It holds 13 gallons of water in the reservoir, and you do put the light fixture on the top. You've got a total of 32 ports. You've got 16 microgreen ports and then 20 regular full-size ports. The Tower Garden Flex is what I have. I like that. I like to say the Flex is flexible. And the reason why I like that one is it's got a more substantive base to it. So it holds 20 gallons of water, and it comes with an accessory of a dolly that you can put it on, as well as a support cage. And so if you're growing bigger plants like tomatoes and cucumbers and plants that are really vining and they need some added support, the Flex is great because you've got that support cage that sits right on top of it. The other thing I like about it is you can grow inside or out with that unit as well. So what I do is I've got 2 Tower Gardens that sit outside, and then I've got 3 inside. And I just, when we go away, I like that bigger reservoir because it doesn't need water as often. And so I don't have to have it filled. Whereas, we could be gone for a week and come back, and easily the Tower Garden still has plenty of water in it. But the lights that go on the top, we get a lot of questions about the lights. And people say, well, I have this great sunroom. Can I put my tower garden in there? It's got all this natural light coming in. Well, the answer to that question is you need the lights if you're going to grow inside, period. When you think about our windows have UV ratings on them that block some of the harmful rays that the sun produces for us because they're not good for us. But those rays are the very things that the plants need to thrive. So, for instance, when you're growing inside, your plants may not get as large as they do outside. Outside, because you've got Mother Nature and it's a perfect environment, they just grow a lot larger. But the lights are necessary for when you're growing inside, and they're low energy. All four lights, as bright as they are only 125 watts. And one of the things, my husband is a numbers guy, so he wanted to know how much is that going to increase my bill each month. And so I told him, I said, well, the lights are no brighter than me turning on a 100-watt light bulb in the room that we're in, but I'll pay attention. So the next month I just kind of looked at, what an average cost was for running my tower garden. And I would say that the tower garden increased overall the electricity bill by about $4 to $6. So it wasn't very much. It's low heat, so it allows you to put the bulbs really close to the plants, which helps result in a higher yield. And it's designed to produce less compact vegetative plant growth. The tower garden makes growing much easier. Now, I'm not going to say that it's no work. It is work, but it's a lot easier than traditional gardening. It's easy to install, it's easy to maintain, it's less sensitive to climate, and because it's on wheels, you can kind of move it in and out of the elements if you need to. And it grows 3 times faster than the plants grow in the soil. There's no dirt, there's no digging, there's no weeding. So, your manicure stays nice all the time. You don't have dirty fingers from digging in the dirt, but it's just an easy way to grow. You can grow healthier produce. Produce is picked at the peak of ripeness. It's more nutrient dense, and it's literally tower to table. And it tastes fresh. It tastes different than what you would get in the grocery store. My daughter is a vegetarian, and when she came, she couldn't wait to taste the salad off the tower garden. And so we came downstairs and I picked some lettuce and some other things to throw in there. And the entire time she was eating, she kept saying, Mom, this tastes so good. And I buy organic produce and it tastes so different. And can I just say, I like to say the tower garden is growing better than organic. And the reason I say that is because even if the produce is grown organically in the store, it's picked long before it's ripe. Then it has to be transported. And 9 times out of 10, they're covering those trucks with a chemically treated tarp to keep the produce from ripening during transit, and then it gets to the store. So it's really not organic from start to finish, whereas in the tower garden it is. I don't use any pesticides, nothing like that on the produce at all. The tower garden can be grown anywhere. There are schools that are using them as teaching aids. There are people who are doing farms with multiple tower gardens. Then you can put it on your back deck. Businesses like restaurants are using the tower garden so that they can pull the produce from that tower garden and put it on their menus and serve it in their restaurants. And I don't know if you all have been to the Chicago O'Hare Airport, but they have a huge tower garden farm in the middle of the airport. And that produce from those tower gardens supplies a lot of the restaurants in the airport with their produce. Now, there are many benefits to children and family when it comes to using the tower garden. It provides a means of educating children about health and nutrition. You have studies have shown that there's increased academic performance with children. They form a real connection with nature, and it teaches them responsibility. If everybody has a chore that they need to do when it comes to taking care of the tower garden, that's really a cool thing. And it's also cool when you plant something and you get to watch it grow and then you get to eat it. It really boosts a child's confidence and pride. And I'm not a child, but I really take a lot of pride in the fact that I do very little shopping for produce in my grocery store. I don't, um, unless they're like, like a big squash or something like that, that I don't grow. I very rarely go into the produce section. Since I've had the Tower Garden, I have had fresh produce year around for the last 2.5 years. And so I can't tell you the last time I bought, lettuce from the store. The other thing is because it is picked at the peak of ripeness. When I pick it, if I have an overabundance of it and I'm not giving it away and I need to put it in my refrigerator, I can put it in a plastic bag, Ziploc bag, push all the air out of it, and that lettuce will keep for 2 to 3 weeks. It's crazy how long it would keep. And the reason I know that is before we went to Colorado last year at Christmas, I harvested quite a bit, and then I started a new terra garden, and I put all that produce down in the bin in the refrigerator. And when we came back, it was still edible. I opened it up, I chopped it up, and we ate it. Now I used to call those bins down the bottom of my refrigerator the graveyard for vegetables to go to die, because when you think about when you buy produce in the grocery store and you get it home, sometimes it doesn't even keep a week. Sometimes you go to pull it out of that bin to use it, and it's already gone bad and you have to throw it out. I mean, if you think about over the years, how much produce you've thrown away that has gone bad in the bins in your refrigerator, it's amazing how much waste there is. But part of that is because they pick it long before it's ready. And so it's been picked for quite some time before it even gets to the store, and they need it to look pretty for us to buy it. So it's already old by the time they're putting it on the shelf. The Tower Garden makes gardening fun. It gives families a chance to bond. Kids enjoy learning. Kids eat more of what they grow, and you don't need a green thumb. All you need to be able to do is read the instructions, put your minerals in the reservoir, and keep water in there, and pretty much it's self-sustaining. The Tower Garden makes gardening affordable. What I did is this study was done several years ago uh, by a Tower Garden farm in Atlanta, and they had based their produce off of just regular produce. It wasn't even organic. But about 6 months ago, I went to the local grocery stores where I live, and I pulled new numbers based on organic produce. And I'm sure it's even more now that we've got inflation happening. But what I did is I just thought, okay, I need to know really how much I'm saving. So when you look at, like a bunch of kale or Swiss chard in the grocery store that's organic, you get maybe 4 or 5, 6 leaves in this little bunch, and you're paying $3 for that. I have had a Swiss chard plant in my Tower Garden for well over 6 months that continued to produce. And the leaves were so big, I could hold it up to my face and it would cover my entire face. That's how big the leaves were. And so you can harvest off of those plants for a long time. So, you could get 26 bunches of equivalent of what you could get in the store. And the Tower Garden ends up paying for itself in just a matter of several months. It's designed to work, and it's designed to last. And fresh becomes affordable as well as convenient. So when you look at the costs of the Tower Garden, the home model is $55.83 per month. If you have the lights, it's $82.91 a month, which works out to be about $13.95 a week. Now, I know for myself, when I used to, before COVID, I'd get a cup of coffee. I mean, this is equivalent to what a cup of Starbucks coffee costs per day. And you're getting something that's continually giving you time and time again. So it really becomes affordable and easy to grow your own nutrient dense produce year round. So if you have questions, get with the person that invited you. And they can help you decide. People say, well, I want to grow this, which one should I get? Well, it just depends on what you want to grow, but the person that invited you will be able to help you make those decisions and help you pick what's best for your needs. And that's what I've got. Back to you, Cindy.
Thank you. Do you want to stop your share? Oh, thanks so much. I love that. And it's so interesting when you compare the Tower Garden to a cup of Starbucks.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, the coffee is gone and it doesn't give you a whole lot of nutrition, where
Right.
this keeps giving back, which is, that was a great presentation. And I just thought I'd wrap it up a little bit and share that we partner with Juice Plus and Tower Garden. So they are one company. And for those of you who don't know what Juice Plus is, it's just one way of making a simple change in your health to getting more fruits and veggies. So the Tower Garden, you can grow everything, which is so great to have it on hand and have that fresh produce. Juice Plus is powdered produce. So we have a fruit, veggie, and berry blend. And this is just concentrated 30 different fruits, veggies, and berries that I take every day, Shandelin takes every day, and it's a way to get more servings of fruits and veggies into your diet. The other nice thing is that you can sponsor a child for free, and they get the fruit and veggie either gummies or capsules, depending on their age or what they would want. So another way to keep your whole family healthier. We have a plant-based omega. This is omega 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And the omega-3 that typically would get from fish comes from algae. And so they have an algal oil that you get the omega-3, and the rest are cold pressed seeds. So those are micronutrition, and then we have macro. So we have 3 kinds of a macro protein powder that you can use. Chocolate and vanilla, and this is Perform, which is a little bit more geared for athletes or a post-workout. But I do this every day for a meal replacement. So we love giving simple solutions to being healthier, and it's really just taking one simple step in the right direction, and all of that is going to move you forward. So I will stop my share. Thank you guys so much, or I'll stop the record and then we can ask questions.